Hi, this is Mark from Brown Works, and today we're going to do a little bit of a compare of some pistols. We're going to compare the Rock Island BBR 310. Okay. We're going to compare that, which is currently in production, to a similar firearm, which is the Para-Ordnance or Para-USA P10. And also known as, their P10 is also known as the Warthog. Okay, so we're going to do some compares with these different firearms because they're very similar. And we're going to just see what noticeable differences that we can find. Okay, so the first thing is, do the magazines interchange? Now, they look very, very similar, but unfortunately, without any modifications, just pulling one out, this is the P10, it doesn't seem to lock into place. And even the Warthog magazines, they won't quite go in because this bottom plate kind of sticks out a little bit and it hits the bottom of the Rock Island. So that's a little bit different in the frame. So they don't quite interchange that way. Let's just try the... Now the Rock Island magazine does fit in the Para-Ordnance and it locks in. So there's a slight bit of difference. Visually, I don't see any difference, but there's probably a slight enough difference that needs to be taken into consideration. Now, I have seen others take some magazines, the Para-Ordnance, especially this bottom plate. I know there are on the market some extended bottom plates that people have taken to put onto their newer Rock Island to give them a little bit more finger room down at the bottom. Okay. So one of the other things, let's take off these grips so you can get a good visual. So I'm going to take these off and then we'll do some compares. You can see there's a slight difference to the frame in that the Rock Island has a little bit of extended piece to this back strap here that comes down. So the frames are cut a little bit different. Also, this is this wider piece. Kind of has like a little shelf to it. So these frames, you see how the grips are cut, so it rides over top of that. Okay. Now I have seen like hoe grips that were meant for the Para-Ordnance P10s. I have seen people modify those to fit onto the Rock Island, although the grip screws are different. The hole placement, actually the size of the grip screws. The Rock Island grip screws are the more consistent 1911 A2 grip screws, which are not the standard 1911 grip screws. They are a little shorter and a little fatter around. Now the P10 and the Warthog grip screws are actually a little bit thinner, so they're not as thick. So definitely have different grip screws. Okay, and the grip screw placement is close, but it is slightly offset. So you can see this. It's a little bit easier. So this screw is a little bit down on this bevel, where the Rock Island, the screw placement is like right on the bevel. Okay. And these bottom ones are off just a hair. So they're close, but not exactly the same. Now, we make the grips specific. We have the Para-Ordnance P10 grips, and we have the Rock Island Baby Rock grips. So they're specific grips for each model. They fit a lot better. And again, the grips can be different wood types, smooth finish, textured finish, custom engravings. You can get all the different grip options are available. So let's look at some other comparisons here. Now, it is hard to do some compares because the Para-Ordnance had been around for a long time, and there's a lot of different variations even within the Para-Ordnance. Even with these two different, this is the P10, this is the Warthog, and you can see some of the difference is in the hammer and in the grip safety, how they're shaped differently. The thumb safeties are slightly different. Okay. So it's really hard to compare the differences because you may find a lot of different variations in your Para-Ordnance. Even these sights, the Warthog here, this is the Warthog, has these yellow dot sights in this particular example, but there may be other Warthogs that have different sights. And this P10 has a blacked out rear sight and a white front sight. And even the Rock Island has different variations. I think there's at least 3 different generations of this BBR 310. The first generation had a fiber optic front sight. This is a second generation, which has a blacked out front sight, and it has a ported barrel. Some people don't like that ported barrel because of that's right in front of your sight. So your first shot, that can it can cause problems with your second or follow-up shot in certain situations, but it does help stabilize the muzzle while you're firing. So it has pros and cons to it. So that's a difference. One thing with these Rock Islands, they do have adjustable rear sights. I haven't seen too many Para-Ordnance that have adjustable rear sights. Okay. So let's do some other measurements. Let's measure the trigger pulls on these. And let's first start with the Rock Island. Okay. This gets a little... Let's do it this way, so I can hold the... That's just over a 6-pound pull. Let's do it a second time. It helps if you cock it, doesn't it? Just over 6 pounds, between 6 pounds and 6 1/4 pound. Okay, so let's put this on the side. Let's do the Warthog. That has just under a 4 pound. Let's try it a second time. Three 3/4 pound pull. So that definitely has a good trigger pull, this Warthog. Let's try the just standard P10. That was 5 1/2. Let's do a little over 5 1/2 there. So that's your differences. This P10 was a little over 5 1/2, 5 3/4. The Warthog was a much lighter pull, and then the Rock Highland was up there over 6 pound pull. So definitely a heavier trigger pull. All right, let's get some other measurements here. I believe let's just test, see how thick they are. An inch and 5/32. Inch and 5/32. An inch and 13/64. So that's just a hair thicker. So the Rock Island is a little bit thicker than the Para-Ordnance. Okay. So that's my comparison. I've done a little bit of firing of each of these, and they all fire about the same. Same ammunition. You know, obviously, other than the trigger pull, this one, the Warthog, definitely has a little bit better trigger than the rest of them. So if anybody out there has these different firearms and has different comparisons or noticed anything else different about them, I'd love to hear it from you in the comments. And again, I thank you. And if you want to see more of some of our firearms and keep informed with some of our new grips that we're going to come out with, please subscribe. So I thank you, and bye for now.